welcome the very special power couple of chess, born in India, belonging to the world, Viswanathan Anand and Aruna. Anand, thank you for launching the ChampionWoman app. But I hope you had a chance to also look at that. Aruna, would you like to say something?
Yes, I did have a chance to go through it, and what I found very interesting were these little nuggets of information. Because I think as women, we are going through the day multitasking all the time. So I think to have these 1 minute nuggets where what we call self-love and self-esteem, I think that's very important, and it's really wonderful.
Mother's role is so big. But I think specifically she was the person responsible for me playing chess. So my mother herself learned the game from her father, and she used to play with her younger brothers and all. So there's some family background, and that was the key for me. It was only slightly unusual that the majority of people tended to learn from their fathers or brothers, and I learned it from my mother. My mother traveled with me till I was 16, 17, and then even afterwards she came for some of my biggest events. And I would say really was the person who got me going on this journey of chess. Aruna is ultra pragmatic sometimes. She's ultra common sense and not given to... you almost feel intelligent when you're sitting there thinking, I'm not ready and this and that. She says, well, just go and play and get on with it sort of thing. So, of course, she's nicer in the car because I'm going to play, but basically that's what she's saying. And take a deep breath and work it out, because that's what you have to do.
So ours was a typical arranged marriage. I don't know whether they do it anymore that way, but this typical where the boy comes home and your mother tells you have to behave yourself, you have to look like you've been raised on family values. The boy and girl don't know each other. So I was just about to, I was working and I told my mother, I will not do any of this because I don't think it's right. She said, fine, just keep your mouth shut and that will do. So I said, I will keep my mouth shut, but I refuse to be dressed up because I should be valued for the person I am. She said, okay, keep your mouth shut and keep looking down and that will do. So the whole time I did that, and Anand came home, but when he came, the one thing that really stood out was that he was such a simple person. And when my mother had made all this coffee and this bhaji bonda stuff, which also I refused to be a part of, and she offered it to Anand, and at the end she told Anand, would you like another cup of coffee? And normally in Indian households, when they say, when you want another cup of coffee, you say, no, I don't want. But Anand was so brave. She said, can I have another cup? And when I saw my mother's expression, I knew I was going to get married to this man. I got married not for his chess, not for how handsome he looked. It was because my mother gave him a cup of coffee. Third day after we got married, I actually went to a chess tournament. That was our honeymoon. And I had no idea of chess. I had no idea who I had married, and I never traveled abroad. So I go to this chess tournament, and it was a huge auditorium like this, but very dark and very comfortable. So I would sit in the last row and sleep, happily sleep. And then about 1 hour later, everybody would clap and I would get up to see what was happening. And I would see Anand get up from the stage and go. And at this point, I was terrified. I had no idea what the hell has this man done on stage. Did he win? Did he lose? So I would go and hide in the women's room and tell him, every day you finish your game, come there and you show like this, and then I know you have won and you can come out. So 2-3 days he did this, and he said, imagine me standing in front of a woman's bathroom and showing like this. Women might get the wrong thing.
Historically, there's a huge gender gap in chess. You wouldn't expect it. There used to be a gender gap in chess, but there was a gender gap at university. The university gap has closed, in fact, even slightly reversed. But the chess gap continues. But at the very top of chess, in the top 100, there's just no women. So I actually support having separate women's championships because sometimes you need stepping stones. And you need to do 2 things before you can do the third. Let's say 40 years ago, there was a big gap between Indians and Russians, but you never thought, okay, Indians will not make it in chess.
Yeah.
So of course, now the expectation is that at some point, women will close the gap.